Everybody, welcome back to Jesus Time with Jesus at Truck Talk. I am on my way to work. Yes, it's daylight out. You know what that means? I overslept. No, actually, I didn't oversleep. I got up and tried to be quiet, and Darlene got up, which most of the time I'm usually in and out of there by the time she gets up. And we had some coffee and just sat there and talked and just enjoyed the morning. You know, it's like I said, her schedules are different than my schedule, and there's times we're just passing by each other. And the time I do get home some nights, it's like late. It's time to get a shower, go get something to eat, get a shower, go to bed, and she's up, going to work, and doing some things around the house. I've been trying to get my firewood all cut up and chopped up and split and getting it stacked and getting it ready for old man winter. But lately, like yesterday, I don't know what happened, but I kind of felt like I've had these feelings before, and it's not surprising because I've always known, because of overtraining and doing stuff, I did a lot of damage to my heart, and the right side of my heart is enlarged compared to the left. And so I had an episode yesterday that kind of alerted me, and Darlene wanted to take me to the hospital, and I just don't care to go to hospitals. But the amazing part about it is, I woke up last night kind of the same thing, but, tingling in my left arm, and I lost all feeling. I mean, I thought I was reaching for something. So what I'm saying is, I can understand how people that lose a leg and they go to stand up and they fall, because you still have that effect. I knew my arm was there, but I thought I was moving it, and it actually wasn't moving. It's just, to me, those are eye-openers. It makes me really look at life and appreciate life more. And I think about my years back of what I've done and how stupid I was, and, didn't fear nothing, because to me there was nothing past one day. So I've really been thinking about a lot, and, Darlene, she's told me before, but it kind of hit me this morning. And I'm telling you guys this because I really want you to think about things in life. She told me something. She goes, I know you get really excited about Christmas and stuff, but if it stresses her out because she never knows what's to go and get. And I'm thinking in my head going, are you kidding me? For her to even not come against me, and I pretty much told her this morning, I said, my past was always, the money would come in, I couldn't work enough. And times I had 2 jobs, there was times that I was working 3 jobs. And the money was just gone, and that's all I'd hear. We don't have no money for that. And then I would see, the evidence going elsewhere. And I struggled through the business, I struggled through things in life, and, getting belts off of trash that was on the side of the road so I could put on my mower, because I was having belt problems, and there was never no money. And I don't care about money. I mean, honestly, I know people that's coming on here, I've spoken this before. Oh, that's crap, No, I honestly don't. When Darlene tells me how much money is in these accounts and stuff, and I sit there and I go, hey, and I actually go, huh. We just went and bought a car. This is the one I'm driving. I'm thinking, praise God. I'm not bragging here. I'm just saying, think about where I was and how I struggled. And now when we need something, God provides it. But it takes that daily walk. It takes that commitment with Him. And I do commit it. But I was thinking about what she said about being stressful, and I'm like, how can you feel that way when honestly, people, I don't know if too many people, spouse-wise and stuff, maybe some, I don't know. But I know in my life, I've never had anybody go, I'm about to go spend $800 on a bunch of vintage Star Wars toys. But then she's like, if something ever happens to you, I wouldn't know what to do with this. You know, and my thing of it is she really doesn't. She would have to go through each piece and look it up and see what they're going for on the average. I don't know, maybe that's something I'll do one of these days, just sit there on my day off and just go through each piece. And, you know, the majority of it is vintage, but I had a few new pieces that I've added through that she's got me. I mean, recently I got into watching the Mandalorian series. They're not going to make a season 4, but they're making a movie that's supposed to be coming out in 2025, which is next year. And I'm excited to see that. And it's, I guess what came to me last night when this happened to me is some of the words that I used today that I never used. Excitement, you know, enjoying life and happy with my life. You know, I was always miserable. I always hated life. I hated seeing people happy. And, you know, Satan always put that thought in your head. You know, what about this person? Well, you know, jumping in a bed with somebody else isn't going to make me happy. It may make you feel good for about however long, you know, because we see these people. There's, you know, good example. I used to know this guy, and he'd come to work. Sometimes I'd pick him up because the car wouldn't start, which it was funny, but because he's like, I just can't afford to fix it. You know, I just got to keep making it work. So eventually, I'd go over and help him work on his car and stuff, and and at first we couldn't stand each other. That was the crazy part. Then we became friends, and, you know, we knew each other for a long time. And he got in bed, he got into the car, and it was a Monday morning, and he's like looking at me, and he was like, I said, what's wrong with you? Such and such is upset with me. I said, okay, why? Because you brought it up, so you must want to talk about it. You want to talk about it. If not, let's talk about something else. Well, I didn't last as long as I should have. I'm telling you this all for a reason. Because this is how ridiculous things get sometimes in a relationship that breaks up marriages. It allows that door to open. And he said, I tried to explain to her, man, it's been a few months since we've done anything. And that wasn't good enough for her. It's my fault. She's not satisfied, but he is. Well, you know what, women? Think about something for a split moment here. And I know some of the guys will probably go, yeah, you know what, he's right. You know, there's times when our wives or girlfriends, whatever, walk around and you see them and you get excited, and you know what happens then. Okay, let's just keep it PG here. Let's keep it GG, because even rated G these days, it's crazy. The cartoons these days, some of the stuff you see, it's like, are you kidding me? It's a cartoon? I didn't let the kids watch this. I wouldn't even let my grandkids watch this stuff. And so things happen. Well, we also know after the excitement's done, things go downwards. So that being said, this happens over and over and over in a matter of, you know, like he said, 2 months. When you finally do have that moment, what do you think's going to happen? You can only control so much. So you got to really look at your lives and what's important. If that's important for the length of things, then you need to figure out a different way to do life. And I guess that's the best way that I can put this. But you also got to look at it it's not, you can't put all the blame off on a male. Because you really don't, as far as I know, you don't go through what we go through as a male. You know, there's times when you have complications. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all these pills out there to help boost it up. Them pills aren't meant for an everyday use. It's meant to get things back working. You know, whether you're injured, whatever, something happens. I mean, there's all kinds of... Who knows why things do what they do? But then I also bring this up. If you're in a relationship just for that, I feel sorry for you, because it's not a relationship. That's just a sex partner, and that's about as far as it goes. So you're probably one of them type of people that don't mind to go jumping into a relationship after relationship, or one night stands and that kind of things. There's so much stuff wrong with it, because you're never into a comfort, and you're always feeling used or let down. The grass isn't greener on the other side. It never is. Satan, he lets you think it is. But let me tell you, it's dead ends. That's all you run into. Being the fact that even daily life, I'm gone 5 days. I was going to because we got the extensions on right now. So basically, if you work 6 hours on your 6th day, then you get an additional $275. Well, that's almost $600 for 2 weeks. I mean, that's most people, some people's 2 days, 3 days worth of work. So I'm like, yeah, that's great. The problem is, I'm not young anymore. And once I do a couple weeks of it, like I just did a while back, come Friday, because basically I get home Wednesday between, at the earliest, 2 o'clock. The latest, it could be 6, 7 o'clock. So then, again, going to dinner, taking a bath, going to bed, I get up, and I got to cram everything into Thursday. And then I'm right back driving Friday morning, like today, going back to work. Takes me a little over 2.5 hours to get to work. So naturally, I got to get up to the crack of dawn. Naturally, dispatch kind of gets a little irritated with me. Well, I don't understand. Well, I took this job knowingly I have to drive the 2.5 hours to work. I can only get up so early. I still got to get plenty of sleep. I can only go to bed. I can't force myself to go to sleep. I don't think anybody really can. I've had to do this before when I worked for a company. You never knew what you were driving. You could be driving days, and then they want you to drive nights. So then you had to try to sleep all day until you could drive the night. So I would basically have to stay awake pretty much all night long. After I just drove all day long, I'd have to stay awake all night long to sleep all day the next day to drive nights, and then they put me right back on days. How the heck do you expect me to drive? Because you would get done at a certain time, and they wanted you to sleep to go be able to pick up this load right after your 10. And I said, well, you can't count on me being there because I still got to do a pre-trip. I don't know how in the world they forget these things, but you look at it and go, what in the world? See, we forget because we become more valuable than anything else in that relationship. That's what happens with God. We become more focused on ourselves and our needs and what we feel that we deserve or we're owed. What we're owed is devotion and loyalty to Jesus for what he has done. You may say, well, now that sounds like an occult or something. Well, I'd rather be in that occult than the nonsense that I was in. I'm just saying. Time is short. I've said it before. It wouldn't surprise me if Kamala got in because of all the nonsense she was talking. But then the more videos doing, I'm hoping somewhere down the line I had a little bit of impact on people thinking about election and stuff. And I wasn't coaching anybody to do anything because I told you before, I'm still going to enjoy hearing from you, whether you vote for Kamala, Trump, or whoever, whatever the other little two people that were on the ballot. It doesn't matter who you voted for. I don't care. But I'm just saying, don't complain about the world if you vote for evil. And they truly are. I mean, look at the video that Trump exposed, and it kind of made me sick to my stomach even hearing it, where Kamala's sitting there going, we don't say Merry Christmas. I'm sick of Merry Christmas. We don't say that. Well, yes, we do. Merry Christmas, Kamala. Don't you take Christ out of my life. Satan's done that long enough, and I allowed him to do it. Of course, I didn't know him. So what did I really allow? I didn't really allow him to do much of anything. He just kept me from finding it. But what he failed to realize is that suicide, I pretty much threw that trump card into the fact, if you're ever playing euchre and you throw that trump card, isn't that something? Trump came back after all this. And I didn't just say the Trump thing just because of Donald Trump. I just thought about that right now is why I'm saying it. But I threw that Trump card in there when I said, God, if you're truly real, then show me you. And he did. I don't recommend it. What if it don't work for you? What if you already knew the fact? These days, it's kind of hard not to know about Jesus. It's kind of hard not to know about God. And it's kind of hard not to believe in Satan or Lucifer or Santa Claus or Easter Bunny or whatever your beliefs are. Because if you can believe in the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and all those things, how can you not believe in Jesus? If you can believe in Jesus, then you have to believe Lucifer is real. The Bible speaks of it. Maybe the Bible's fake. Some people say, well, I don't believe this and this and this. I don't believe in hell. I don't believe the things you're saying. Well, then, do you believe the Bible totally, truthfully? Do you believe in solid word? Yes. Do you believe, even though we have different translations, the sentence may be a little bit longer compared to the King James? Yes, because you got one of their words might meet two of ours, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So you're telling me you believe this, and people, I use this all the time, so you're going to hear it again. Anybody that's watched these videos long enough, you're going to, yeah, I heard you use this before. Do you believe? If you believe, then you're going to believe that a donkey spoke. Yep, crickets. Even the crickets get silence. Because they're like, whoa. Now you can't retract what you just said. You said you totally believe in the Bible. Every word of it. But yet the Bible speaks of hell. The Bible speaks of Lucifer. The Bible speaks of Satan. The Bible speaks of how deceiving he is. What a deceiver. What a liar. What a prideful person. Notice I said person, because some people don't believe he's a person. Well, what the heck do you think he is? Yes, he's a fallen angel. He's man-formed. And then it follows up by my favorite thing of all. You don't have to believe, but you will believe when you go wherever you're going. When you get there, you'll believe it. Hopefully it's not hell. But let me tell you, there's so many foolish people that believe in that they're not going to hell because they do good works, good deeds. Well, fantastic. Go ahead and do it. Believe what you want. You can't convince evil that it's evil. Because they'll argue with you every time. Life is short. And I started thinking about that last night, about 12:30 at night. And this episode lasted all the way until I end up falling asleep about a half hour, because I remember looking at the clock and it was almost 1. Then I remember waking up at 1:30 and I had to go to the bathroom. And I was out in the living room in this lift chair thing. And I was still tingly. My arm was still kind of numb and heavy. And I went in there, went to the restroom, and then came out. And I remember just sitting in that chair, reclining it back, and just lowering it back down to the ground, and thinking in my head, going, wow, what a life I've had and lived. And I woke up this morning really... First of all, I've always been honest with you guys. I've opened up things I never would have opened up to anybody. But you have to look at it as I had to go to prayer and ask Jesus to forgive me. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't putting on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff I wasn't talking about because, you know, I am human. And the more now that I think about how emotional and how my innerness has become more humble and more, I guess, feelings is a better way to put it. You know, I hardly ever cried over something. I hardly ever got upset when somebody said something. But I realized, and I was like, you know, Jesus, can you make me just a little bit more back the way I was? Because I had that tough skin. Then I had to apologize for that because now I'm thinking, man, I'm telling God, the Creator, that He made a mistake by changing me the way I am today. When I asked Him, here's my life, change me, do as you see and what you have planned. So He does, and then I'm upset with that because I get emotional over things. To me, that's a weakness. That's what I was always taught. It's weak. Men don't cry. So you go into that avenue. Do I feel like I could do more for Darlene? Every day. Every day, that's what keeps my drive. I have a purpose. You know, and I was thinking last night, I didn't tell her this, but I was thinking last night, man, if something happens to her, what do I do? And I did think about this too. I'm thinking, is this relationship more of I have a purpose? Because I'm telling you, all my life I have always done for everybody just to do, whether it was good for me or not. I just wanted to make people happy. Well, for once, I can honestly say I'm glad that she's happy because of how she went through with her marriage and stuff. She was always last. And that's what I started this video on. You know, she's allowed me to... I still get that anxious thing when I go to buy something for myself. And I go back and forth with it. There was one time I went to buy something and I ended up buying her something. Because I felt better doing that than buying something for myself. And there's times when I go down and look at the toy room and look at those things and I go, but then I think of the fun I had digging through the bins, which reminded me of like when I was little, going through trash and boxes that was sitting on the trash that had toys and electronical stuff and taking it apart and using wires and stuff. And I thought about my model building days where I took wires out of radios and stuff and cut the wires down to make wires coming off like a distributor cap on there into the engine block. I can't do that today. I mean, I probably could, but it would. My hands ain't really stable enough anymore, and the fact that I really just don't have the patience. But I still enjoy building models. I finished the Trans Am last night that Darlene got me for Christmas. I think last year or the year before. I want to say last year. And you know, I look at those models on the shelf, and I look at it. First of all, some of them didn't go together as planned, and I was frustrated. I mean, I literally was getting so frustrated because it had to be perfect. And then I remember sitting there with the Trans Am. I didn't put them little fender, little accent panel things on the fenders. They got two in the front and two in the back. And I didn't put those on because I didn't want them on. I was going to, and I was like, you know, I like the cleanness of it. I don't, that effect looks mean, yeah, but there's really, I don't care. I am gonna. She found my stickers last night for the eagle for the hood. That's the only sticker I really want on there. Is that I don't need the pinstripes and all that stuff that the original Trans Am had. I just want that eagle or falcon, whatever it is, on the hood. Now I don't know. I tried to put some stickers on another car that I wanted to put on, but I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how the heck the stickers go on, and the print's so dang on small. I don't know. Hopefully I can get it on there, but I mean, you got to be able to be steady with it too. Yeah. What does this have to do with life? Everything. Because I give you all this so you can think about exactly what I'm saying. Think about how frustrated I got because a model wasn't perfect. Who's going to see it? I mean, it's back on a back wall against a shelf that you can't even really get to. I mean, I literally got to step over. I got it perfectly measured out to where I could step, and hold the wall and use my right hand to place it onto the shelf. I mean, seriously, it's crazy, but that's my thinking. It looks good from a distance, but you can see some glue on the windshield a little bit, some other spilling on glue because I had to put more glue on to try to hold something together. The drive shaft may not be in the differential on the back, but it's tucked up underneath there where it looks attached. The chrome fan and the fan blades and all that stuff, the belt and all that stuff fell off yesterday when I was putting the body and stuff up into the car, and it made me mad. I was like, maybe I could just glue the fan on and make it look like there. And then I'm like, I don't even care. I picked up the pieces, put it in a baggie, and threw it down inside the box because I keep all the excess pieces and stuff because sometimes you got two options on the engine: keep it factory like, or you can make it stock where the engine sticks up out of the hood. So it dawned on me that I'm okay with the imperfections because I'm grateful that I had the car to put together. I'm grateful that she thought about me and thought about the cars that I've spoke about over the years, and Trans Am was one of the ones I always wanted too. I've always wanted that Smoking Abandon. I like the Firebirds, and I like the 80s style, the Michael Knight style car. I had a Firebird like that had the T-tops. I loved it. The engine ended up messing up in it, and I still remember when the guy come and got it. I was so sad watching that car go, but just didn't have the money. Didn't have the place to work on it, and you got to let things go, I guess. I've had cars sold out from underneath me that I really didn't want to get. It was like, hey, why do you do this stuff? But it's, I appreciate the fact that the person I'm with today appreciates me more. And she just kind of goes, there's sometimes she's like, but we paid this much for it. Yes, I understand that, love. Trust me, I understand that. Sometimes we buy stuff, but it's not necessarily for us. Sometimes God has that item in store for somebody else. And I think about some of the stuff I've got Darlene. I said, just take it to the pantry and donate it. And then you get to see the excitement when somebody sees it. I mean, I remember something she put up there, and I remember the lady walking in. She seen it. She goes, "Oh, excuse me," and I was like, "Yes." Is this free too? And I was like, yeah. She was so excited. So excited. And I'm thinking, how much stuff do we have that we really don't use, that you bought it or something and you go, or it was on clearance. I'm always looking in the clearance section. I don't mind going to Goodwill. I used to go to Goodwill all the time to get clothes and stuff, and I know people come against them, but I look at it this way. Look at these resellers. All right? Even if they get something for $1, Look how much markup they put on it. Yeah, they're getting this stuff free. Okay. Well then, some of you that's got toy stores and stuff like that, put a box out there and people can donate toys to you. And then take them in there and mark them up like Goodwill that you complain about. Nobody's telling you to go in there. I mean, yeah, your videos are cool, but they also get kind of boring when you sit there and complain about stuff, or you got a son on there that just bashing stuff, or, you know, I just don't like that. You know, I don't like people putting people down because you thought something was going to be one way, or you took it was going to be a way. Well, heck, that's life. Everywhere we go, we're going to be disappointed by something. I remember when I was at the bins going through there, and there's certain people that show up on certain days, and there's like 5 or 6 of them, and they overtake the bins. Two goes in one, 2 goes in the other. One starts on one side, the other one starts on the other side, and they're throwing stuff back and forth, and they're grabbing all the good stuff out of there. And here I am coming up behind everybody, taking my time digging through there. Now there's some stuff I'll hurry up and go because I've seen it when they come out. And they do that too. They'll stand there right where the carts come out and look in there, and they run over and grab stuff because they know exactly where to go. Well, you're kind of outnumbered. You can't even really get in there. And now today everybody's reselling. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there is. I'm not a reseller. I'm a collector. I collect weird stuff. You know, and I know there's times when people may go, wow, I can't believe that she let you spend $800 on these toys. Okay. But then I could sit there and go, years and years and years, I've hardly ever bought anything. Didn't really need anything. Had stuff stolen off me and God restored that. Didn't even really need it. Didn't even go back to that business. But I think about the times when she gets her hair done. I don't complain about it. I'm excited for her. Matter of fact, I ask her because I know that it makes her feel better. And if she feels good, by how she looks, and I'm glad she can actually go. She used to do it herself. Her and her daughter would sit there, and sometimes she would buy them boxes, whatever it is, the hair dye stuff, and she'd do her own. But she said I would do it just one color. She likes the 2 different things. And to be honest, I enjoy seeing it like that too. And I enjoy seeing that smile. And I know when she needs it done because, you know, she looks at her hair. And times when she doesn't want to do her haircut and the stuff at the same time because she don't want to spend the money. Well, I don't care about the money. If she's happy and it makes her feel better, then it's money. Can't take the money with us. What if something happens to her tomorrow? And then something happens to me 2 days later? You can have $1 million in the bank and you didn't enjoy it. You didn't enjoy life. Whose fault is that? Yours. Now, I'm not saying be foolish. We're very cautious of, you know, just like I said, I had a pipe break a while back, 2 weeks ago. Luckily, I know how to fix this stuff. Luckily, I know how to work on a furnace. Luckily, I know plumbing. I know electric. So, to buy a house, some days I look at it and go, dang, man. Those are the days you miss renting houses, renting apartments, because you just call somebody and they had to come fix it. Now you make a call and you got a few $100 service charge just for them coming. What's this charge? It's $180. It's a service call. Here's the labor cost, and here's the parts cost. I'm going, looking at the paper going, excuse me, but I know the parts ain't even that much. Oh, yeah, it's just what our prices are. You're drifting off there, buddy. Come back to reality here, and let's really, no thank you. I mean, there may come times when I'm not home that she's going to have to call somebody, especially if it's heat related in the winter. I mean, what choice do you have? I don't want her to freeze. Just bundle up, honey. I'll be there in 3 more days. You think I would be on the welcome list coming home? They'd be like, yeah, welcome home. I'll fix the furnace. That's how I'd be. If I'd be like that, I couldn't be upset with her being like that. I'd be like, listen, put it on the credit card then. I don't care. Call somebody. Call whoever's closest, local. Call them. If you can hold off until the daytime, then hold off to daytime, because then you're not going to have to pay that emergency cost too. If not, call. I don't care. I'd rather you be warm. I don't expect her to carry firewood in, throw firewood in. I mean, firewood burns pretty quick. I was thinking when I was little, I don't know, maybe it's just because I was little, but I remember my grandfather throwing firewood in there and putting it in, and we'd go to bed, and I'd come down and there was still a fire going. I throw wood on the fire, and it seems like it disintegrates. It's like, dang. But it feels good. I love a nice open fire and the crackling of the sounds. I just enjoy life. I'm tired of working my life away. And that's exactly what's, over the years, what I've done. I just don't have that. I don't know. I don't know, because I never got old before and then got young again. I just struggle with getting old, I guess. And a lot of things about me change. And there's a lot of things that I go, I just can't do it anymore, It's just... And it was crazy because, having a son and stuff, and you always had this knowledge that I thought I was going to be able to pass off. And then getting with Darlene, she had an older son, and I thought maybe I could pass off some knowledge of him, how to fix a car, how to work on stuff, and save himself a lot of money. Never really worked out either. Turned out that he couldn't stand me because there was rules. Turns out to be my own kids couldn't stand me because they had rules. They'd rather go and live a free life of doing whatever you want. There's no consequences in the world. Well, the older they get, they got kids now. They honestly, I believe they're probably looking back at life. Just my thoughts. Probably looking back at life and going, I wish I would listened to Dad more. Well, that's my fantasy world there. I could be right. I could be wrong. Isn't that a song? I could be right. Yeah, I think it was a song. I don't know who sung it out, but even that, man, I used to be big on music. Anymore, we were watching the new episode of The Floor. It comes on Wednesday nights. It's got Rob Lowe in it, and they did a pop culture or something, modern pop culture or something. I forget what the category was. And they put the artist on there, and you had to name the artist's name. I looked over at Darlene, and I just started smiling, like I'm thinking, we're just looking at the screen going, don't know. I'm like, I don't know any of these people. And you're like, dang, what a hard category. But the idea is they got 45 seconds to play against another player, if anybody hasn't watched it. If you got like Hulu or something like that, you can go on there and watch the previous season, last year's season. And they started out with 50 last year. They started out with 100 this year. And you're eliminated as you go. the more squares you get and you hold the largest number at the end of that episode, you get $20,000. But you're competing against people that may or may not know what their category is. You know, what I'm saying is like Star Wars. There was a Star Wars category. That guy may just be bluffing. Or that woman may be bluffing. She might not, or he might not know all that much about Star Wars and just claims that he does. It's like playing a game of cards. You got to put on the poker face. Well, they got up there, but the thing of it is what you hear everybody there, the contestants are waiting to play, you hear them talk about, oh, I would do this, or they're going to be good at this. But what you don't understand is you put yourself like with that clock, and you get flustered about something, and you can't think of the name, but you know the name, and your brain just freezes. Your clock's still done. If you say pass, you got to wait 3 seconds to get a new picture. Well, 45 seconds don't take long to disappear, and I know a lot about Star Wars, but it was the fact that I couldn't remember this guy's name, the character name, and I was like, and I was like beating myself up, and then Chewbacca came on, and by the time I could say Chewbacca, I'm like, you just lose the whole concept. And that's what happens when we allow us to lose ourselves and thought to the enemy. Your 45 second runs out and you should have been reaching out to Jesus. Because what if that clock was done for you today? And today was your last day. You went home, you seen your kids, but yet they were on their phones playing video games. You're throwing some dinner together or heating up leftovers, not really caring about much of anything. Your spouse finally gets home and, you say a few words and end up taking a shower and going to bed. You do the same routine every day. But what if that time doesn't come? And your 45 seconds ran out. How much what ifs are them people going to live? And the weird thing is, I take a lot of responsibility. I take a lot of blame. I hold it. And I'm not the easiest person to deal with. I don't mind when Darlene tells people, he's a very picky eater. You're right, I am. And there's a lot of stuff that I may like to eat it, but I really don't care if I eat it. It tastes good, but I really don't care. If she makes this green stuff, I don't mind eating it. Would I eat it every day? Probably not. But she does. She likes vegetables. She likes that kind of stuff. I'll try it. She made this one stuff. I'll tell you what, it was squash and sweet potato and a few other vegetables. And I'm not big on sweet potato. I really don't really care for the taste of it. I've had sweet potato pie before, and it's not my favorite. I mean, if it was there, would I eat it? Probably not. Even though I'm like, it's doable. But I like pumpkin pie. Does it mean I'm picky? Maybe. But think about being picky. Being picky allowed me over the years to weed people out of my life. Because I just didn't accept just anything. Does it make me better than anybody else? No. Well, that's why you don't have many friends. Well, I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with it. I got plenty of friends out. There's a friend right here. In his little carrying bag that Darlene got me. Goes in my truck. I used to bring Georgie out with me, but I leave Georgie at home because, first of all, he likes to guard the house. Second of all, I don't want to lose him. and I'm afraid if something ever happens to that truck, somebody got in my truck and took him out of there, it would literally tear me up because of what he means to me. And I hold things like that because, I think about Darlene Jung's daughter when she put that much thought into doing something like that for me. Those type of things never leave me, and I'm sorry that she's going through what she's going through and she believes what she believes about me, but, I don't care because I think about those days that she was like that, not the evil days that she's in now. And that's the stuff that, for somebody that young to go, man, his story broke me, but I want to make him happy. And I tried to do the very best by her. I tried to teach her and let her tell her, hey, this guy probably isn't going to be the best deal for you. And tried to be there for her. Tried to be there in the times when she was sad. Time when things didn't work out with a certain person that I had a little bit in a setup deal because I thought they would be perfect for each other. And I normally don't do that. Then it turned out to be the other person was nothing but a liar. It broke me because he doesn't realize, because he doesn't ever do no wrong. But it broke me because I had to watch her go through pain over this. But then when he tells me all the stuff she says, I'm like, wow. But you see how Satan does that? He allows them words to be heard so you will become angered and bitter towards that person. And I must confess, I did. I did there for a while. I didn't want to see her. I didn't want to be around her. I didn't want to be around any people that associated with her. And I just look at them, and now they're all wolves of the same pack. You know that saying, birds of a feather? I don't care if I hear from any of them. Doesn't mean I don't love people. I tell you all the time. How do you know when you can pray for them? I literally could say a prayer over my ex-wife today. She has her visions on things, nasty text messages and crap that she sends. It just, when she does that stuff, all I think about is, this is what I lived. This is what I'm grateful for. I don't have to live anymore. Even if Darlene never stepped into my life, I would have been fine. Because I'm a strong-willed person. I get something in my head when I'm done with it, good luck. I tell people all the time, the only way I'm changing my mind right now is Jesus comes and tells me. You may say, well, that's a crazy way to live. Well, it's a safe way. Because I know unless Jesus wants it done, because if he wants it done, there's no matter how I think it's going to be done. It's going to happen. I can't stop God. I may be disobedient and not do what he's asking me, but eventually I'm going to have to do it, so I might as well just do it and be done. You see where you're at today? And all I'm simply saying is, look at your life and fix it. Allow Jesus to mold and change it. Pray to him. Lord, I'm not really satisfied with my life. I don't know why. Help me understand this. Not understanding this. Help me understand this. Help me understand this for not understanding what I'm going through, basically. I guess maybe I did say it right the first time. It just didn't sound right. See, I second guess stuff. And I believe why people watch these videos is because I'm real with it. I'm not on here trying to play like I'm something that I'm not. I'm not on here trying to give you scripture after scripture, which I do. Everything I talk about, I bring the Bible into it one way or another. I've even listened to people comment, wow, I like how you brought that semi thing that such and such spoke about. I think it was Susan that gave me the video. And I don't even know whatever happened to her. She just kind of left too. But it's okay. Hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she didn't do something or fall back into the world's ways of things. all I can do is pray. Let God do it. I pray for all the people that comment, all the people that don't comment anymore. Steve, aka Luke, aka Steve. I'll still never forget that. Well, I guess I'm Steve because Nelson says. Oh gosh, I still laugh about it. It's funny. You think of Ayana. I think I always pronounce her. What a sweet person. I mean, she really is. It's just, what a heck of a person. But I called her Anna. There was another one, too, that I got the name wrong. But you look back at it and go, life's a journey. Life's a journey. I've enjoyed making these videos. Some of them I didn't really want to do, and there's times when it just gets so difficult that I just got to step back and just clear my thoughts and come back and put the shield up and tell Jesus, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go back to battle. I had another person, I don't recall, and I do apologize. I don't recall who said it, but I don't even recall what I was going to say because I was trying to think of the person who said it. How's that one for you? Now it's going to bother me until I say it. As soon as I shut the video off, that's when I'm going to remember it. But anyways, you just go through life and you sit there and you think about life in general. Is what you're doing and what you're suffering through. If you're suffering through a relationship or a marriage or not being able to speak to your children or something like that, sometimes you got to count the blessings, people. Marriage-wise, sometimes you got to go back and look at your life and look at what you're in. Why did you fall in love in the first place? What brought you to that person? Where did it change? Then you got to go. You got to go back to when you first met. What drawed you to each other? I had a person told me once, and I about fell over. Well, sex did. Excuse me? Yeah, it was great. Now it's not enough. Well, what, you think it was going to be? Yes. Well, that's your first problem. It doesn't solve everything. It's a good part of it. I had a person ask me not too long ago, Nelson, do you think it's wrong that I find this person attractive because I don't want to just find a person attractive, but I want to be able to know I'm going to be able to spend a long term with this person? How do I tell the difference? Well, I'm no psychiatrist, I'm no scholar or anything like that, but I would say this: there's nothing wrong with being attracted to someone. I mean, I think being attracted to someone, you have to have that. Otherwise, you would never look at them. If that attraction didn't catch your eye, you would never probably want to try to date them or go out with them and get to know them. Talking, what they consider talking these days, stupid. It's called, like what we would do, get to know somebody. How do you do that? You go out and hang out with them. No commitment, no dates. Just leave the date out of it. Just say, hey, you want to go hang out? And really get to know the person. And then it builds from there. But you also got to look at, people are going to get old. They're going to wrinkle. They're going to have gray hair. They're going, or unless they diet. Okay, well then diet. I'm all right. I mean, I don't come against that stuff. I don't come against if you want to have fake nails on. Okay, go get fake nails. Fine, dandy. I don't care. Who am I to tell you what's going to make you happy inside? If it makes you happy, then okay, I'm with you. Let's go do it. But you got to get them filled. I used to watch Darlene's youngest daughter. She'd get her nails done. They looked great. And then it was time to go get them filled because she spent all of her money. She would bite the dang nails off. And I'm thinking, dang, girl, you're ripping off your fingernail that's over top of it. This ain't no Lee press-on nail here. This is stuff they fused to your nail. Gross. And then she ripped her one nail pretty bad and she was crying about it. I was like, hello, Dorothy? You just watched the house fall on the witch and you took the ruby slippers. I mean, come on now. You don't listen. So there's consequences. So then you got to sit there and look and go, where are you at in life? I mean, I don't know how else to explain to somebody going, if you just fell in love with somebody because of sexual attraction, and that's all you're thinking about, is what's it going to be like into that area of life? What's it going to be in there, 6 years from now? Did you even think 6 years? Are you thinking, well, even if it lasts a couple months, what the heck? You already put fault into it. You already put failure to it. Did you put a timeline on it? I'd say, how many times do people actually really get to know each other before they make that big commitment? And I'm not talking about hopping in the bed here, people, or the sack, whatever you want to call it. That should be the last thing you even consider. Because if a person, female speaking, if a male can't wait, you need to get away. Vice versa. If a female's just wanting that interaction of that, most likely, if you don't satisfy what they say or how they feel about it, you're done. And they may just lost out on discovering a good person. And then they're going to move on to Joe down the road, and Joe down the road is going to give them what they want in that area, but they can't fulfill the childhood dream of the white picket fence syndrome. Well, I'm never going to have this white picket fence. He's never going to ask me to marry him. Hello, clueless. Why would he ask you to marry him when you gave him what you shouldn't have until you were married? Well, what if I didn't like it then? Then I got to get a divorce. No, why do you got to get a divorce? Because it's easy? Because it's easy to give up? It's easy to quit? We quit so easy. I guess what makes me different is I fought all my life. Speaking of fighting, I'm excited that the Mike Tyson's fight coming up finally. I got a feeling he's going to beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul might surprise everybody. But I guarantee he's going to know Tyson was there. I just hope it's not one of these fights where Jake Paul just jabs and runs around the ring all night, because that's going to be extremely boring. And if that's the case, then even if Jake Paul wins by card, I don't consider it a win, because he did nothing but run around, and you won by points. You didn't beat Tyson. You beat the system. To beat Tyson, you got to go up there in him and just go at it with him. If you can do that, Jake, not that he's ever going to watch this video, maybe somebody will find it and knows him and say, hey, watch this. If you can do that, Jake, then I'll give you the respect. Because in the fighting realm, Jake, I box myself. Let me tell you, you get the respect because you earn it. You didn't really earn it. Yeah, you're a big-time YouTuber. You got a lot of followers. You got a beautiful home. You got all the riches and all the glamour and all the things that come with it. But you want to earn what you're looking for, that acknowledgement that you're a fighter. Then you go and you fight Tyson like a man, not like running around the ring like a scared chicken. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with jabbing and moving, but I'm talking running around the ring, constantly running because you think you're going to out-tire him. Tyson don't run. Watch Tyson's fights. Tyson don't run. He walks and follows you like prey, like a velociraptor about to jump all over you. good luck. I remember years ago when I said, man, I'd get in the ring and spar with Tyson because he was paying like big time dollars to get in there, and you at least had to do 3 rounds. I'm thinking, I could do 3 rounds. But that was the ego side of me. I was in good shape. I worked out. I, ran all the time. I mean, I was quick. I mean, I could literally run fast. Look how long it took me to get to that point. Today, I look at it and go, man, that's a nice Mustang. I wish I would have bought a Mustang instead of this car. I really want a Mustang. I really do. See, but then when I feel like that, I think I'm not being pleasing to God because of this car. But I really do. I really want a Mustang. I don't know where I left my sunglasses in the truck. I hope somebody didn't take them. Hey. Isn't it weird, though, how you just feel like a certain car is part of you? And I think the reason why Mustangs are like that with me, because, like I said, I've always wanted the 69 Dodge Charger. I always wanted the Trans Am style Michael Knight car, and I finally got the Firebird, which was almost identical to that Michael Knight style car, the kit car. I should say Michael Knight style, it's the kit car. And the Mustang's always been there, I guess. It's the one car that I just enjoyed building, driving, just the feel of it, the rumbling of it, just the feel of it. It was like the car was me and I was the car. It's like, I don't know, it's like having a best friend. It's crazy. I don't know, maybe I am going through a midlife crisis. I don't know. I don't idolize things in life. I don't idolize them toys. Yeah, I like going down and looking at them. And I think about the fun I had, like I was saying in the beginning of this video. I think about the fun I had going through those bends. It was like I was alive. It's hard to explain. And it's not that I don't feel alive with Christ, because I do. He's given me a different life and a different way of seeing life. And a different compassion for people, a different love for people. He's molded me this far. I can't help it, the things that I dream about, the things that I want. I just, even with Darlene, I just want her happy. If happy wasn't with me and she found happiness somewhere else, then I'd be happy for her. Unfortunately, I can't control what life's going to bring. You may say, well, Nelson, that's kind of wrong for you to say that, because, how do you know you're not going to hurt her feelings? By saying, how am I hurting her feelings? If anything, she could say, well, here's somebody that truly loves me. They want me happy for me, not for what I can do for them. See, if you're thinking one way, I'm going to give you a different way of looking at it. And that's truly what my heart is. I get upset when I upset her. And I don't make excuses when I go, look, I'm in a lot of pain today. It doesn't make it right, but something escalates into another area in life, and then you just don't think, because I'm not thinking. I'm thinking about the pain. I'm thinking about all the stuff that's going through my head. You think about your own self. Some days you just can't deal with it anymore. It's just like so hard. Frustrated. This and all these things, and then I got to realize it's just Satan doing what he does. And then I got to overcome it. Well, that's where we are. That's what we got to do. We got to come over those things. We got to get through it. Every day that we wake up, we got to commit our life to Christ. Well, I guess I rambled on enough of this because it's an hour and 5 minutes, and the last time I looked at it was 30-some minutes. So I'm just going to leave it there. And I just like calling these days daily thoughts. And hopefully it helps somebody. Enjoy your week. I'm sure I'll be posting something later on this week, and hopefully we can start on some of them other videos, but again, it becomes a scheduled time. And but I am getting ready to do this live thing, so hopefully you guys will be able to tune in for that. That'd be nice. If not, I totally understand. With work and family, and what I'd really like to hear is, well, Nelson, I spent time with Jesus and God, and then family, and that'd be awesome. Work, okay. Well, you got me there because you still got to work too. I think I might let that one slide. But I'm not going to let the family part slide because I consider you family. So hopefully you guys consider me family. That annoying family member that comes over at the holidays, and anybody ever watched Christmas Vacation? These are good. Pass me over some more. Oh, Ed. Oh my gosh. Now, Clark, there's an RV. Don't go fall in love with it when I leave out here in a month or so. I love that movie. That movie was funny. I'm going to look it up and see if it's on streaming so I can watch it. It was crazy because Darlene said something. We've seen it, and she goes, well, you want it, you can get it. And then she mentioned streaming, and I was going to get ready to get it, and she mentioned streaming. I said, oh, yeah. And I'm thinking, yeah. So hopefully it's on streaming. Whatever. If not, I just won't watch it. Simple as that. Anyways, God bless you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share it, whatever. Let's just keep getting this word out there as best as we can do it. There's, like I said, the like button, subscribing, sharing, all that stuff helps these videos get out there. So, I do what I got to do, and hopefully you guys, I've been noticing, I looked at the week's review and noticed a lot more people are sharing videos, which is great. And I do appreciate it. I know God does, and I know Jesus does. It makes all this rambling on worth something. There's still a meaning for it, I guess is a better way I'm putting it. There's still a meaning for it. So God bless you guys. Love you. Till the next one.